I am Boba Fett, left for dead in the sons of Tatooine. I tried to really stare it down, too.
I love it. What's going on, Force family, and welcome back to Star Wars, guys. We are your hosts, as always, myself, Nate, Mike, and you know him well. Uncle is not here. He's not here.
Boo.
He's not here, but he's got good reason. I think he's got valid reason.
Tell him where he is. Tell him.
Some would say the edge of a galaxy.
Would some say Galaxy's Edge?
Most would say that.
I didn't want to make a big jump and connect two dots that aren't there, but
Uncle is with his family. They are in they're in Disney. They're going to Universal.
Are they in the Orlando one? They're in Disney World?
Disney World. Taking a trip to Universal, taking a trip to Disney World. They're going to be building some lightsabers, doing the whole gig. So valid reason to not be
fun.
Here this week.
We went opening day, for any of you OG fans of us who have followed since the beginning.
We always bring this up.
And if you ever want to listen to one of our more entertaining podcasts we've ever done, go back to one of the first, I don't know if it was the first, one of the first podcasts. It may have been our very first podcast we ever did, of Nate and I talking about our experiences and adventures and the trials and tribulations of
It was great.
It was great. Of our Galaxy's Edge trip. We loved it, but Uncle, may the Force be with you. Like a panther.
So, if you guys are here, welcome. I see people already in the chat. J-Man, Parker, what's going on?
What's up?
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully, you all have seen the episode because we're going to be breaking down the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 4, The Gathering Storm.
Gathering
Storm. So, like always, we encourage you all and our listeners, if you're listening to this back, to engage with us. Drop some comments, leave us what you guys think about the episode, and while we're going live here throughout the episode, let us know your thoughts, and we'll include that into the podcast, into the conversation.
Yeah.
So
and we got a lot to talk about.
First off, overall, we kind of been starting like this lately.
I like
overall thoughts. What do you think? Yes,
what do I
how'd
think?
You like it?
So last, I know the Chad.
Yeah.
Deservedly so, is probably pretty up in arms with the way I opened the show last week. when I said that I really enjoyed episode ding Uncle.
Oh man.
Uncle's in Galaxy's Edge just receiving the credits that I turned over for actually say episode instead of chapter. I said in our previous podcast episode that I enjoyed chapter 3, but that of the 3 so far, it might have been at the time my least favorite of the 3. Doesn't mean I didn't like it. I really liked it. But there was some stuff that I had to sit on for a little bit. Chapter 4, The Gathering Storm. I really like this episode. I like it a lot. It's hard for me now. I don't want to get into the ranking game every single week of like this one, here's my order, this. Because a lot of stuff you need to sit on it. It's definitely one of my favorite episodes.
I think so too. I mean,
it's up there. I really enjoyed
episode
it.
2, chapter 2. You as well. I know we talked about that. I might like this one more. I don't know. I feel like just a lot happened. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, some of the big things. We'll just dive into why.
Yeah.
We'll get into some specifics, but even just overall thoughts on the episode. One of the reasons I really enjoyed this episode. Ding 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 ding. Chapter. One of the reasons I enjoyed this installment, this chapter of the Book of Boba Fett, was we got some answers that we had been. If anyone's been following our show, we've made some Boba Bets over the weeks.
Oh, yeah.
When we said, well, let's not bury the lead. I finally got my beloved meeting that I've been teasing.
We've been calling it for every episode.
When the first trailer came out, and they showed the meeting of, I believe we had some Trandoshans, the Aqualish, everyone sitting here at the table with Boba. And he's sitting there kind of menacingly talking to all of them in not Jabba's palace now, but Boba's palace. And he's talking about why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich. And I said, I guarantee that's in the first 10 minutes of the first chapter.
All the trailer footage is going to be the first 10 minutes.
Turns out it's near the end of chapter 4.
Halfway through.
But I really loved that we got one that I think we've seen almost, I'll have to rewatch the trailer, but almost every bit of footage now. which is exciting because now it's a blank slate. We have no idea where it's going. We already didn't know ahead of time how they would use the Book of Boba Fett to tell the kind of chapters and flashbacks and dream sequences using the Bactopod. But I'm really excited that we've kind of closed some storylines or that we've caught up. We'll talk about how we've caught up to another famous Disney Plus Star Wars show and how that intertwines. But I'm really excited that we've got all the footage out of the way from the trailer pretty much. So now they've got some big stuff hidden. They've mentioned Rancors. They've teased someone else maybe joining this show. And I'm very excited now to see where it's going moving forward.
No, I agree. I mean, I got some notes. I watched the episode twice, so I got some notes.
Oh, I got some notes.
Things.
You got notes?
I got notes. I finally brought notes this time. I came a little bit.
You got any threes? Go fish. I don't know what's going on.
Sabak. First off, I like we start off with some flashbacks, right?
Yes. Right away.
Jump
straight into it.
And we get to see the importance. Okay, we know social media, the biker gangs kind of been getting some flack, right?
The Mos Vespas.
Yeah. They've been getting some flack for Chapter 3.
Some I'd say way over the top.
Yeah.
Way over the top hate.
Yeah.
Even though I said it's not one of my favorite
Not one
things.
of my favorites.
Some people were like, well, this is why I'm done with this show. I'm like, well, maybe calm down. It is only Chapter 3.
Right.
Maybe see where the show is going. But
like you're
I understand.
See where it's going because this chapter, we saw the importance of why they introduced those characters.
Yeah.
Because they're showing that there's this, I don't remember the term
mods.
they called it.
They're the mods, the modifiers.
Exactly. He went to a mod station, and that's why Fennec's got, it wasn't just like him saving her and getting that stuff built. He actually went to that group or a group like that to get. So it kind of showed the importance of why those characters were introduced in the first place.
Let's go to that scene. So in that scene, a couple of little fun things upon rewatch too. Notice one of the pieces he picks up while he's performing the, I don't know if you call it surgery or transplant operation. One of the things he picks up is the hand of a super battle droid.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's a little Clone Wars flashback. Not a flashback, but a callback to some Clone Wars. But also just makes you wonder, like, these scavengers have really worked. This is a long time since Clone Wars. I mean, this is post-Return of the Jedi, post-Return of the Jedi. And he's got some of these relics and these artifacts and stuff. I thought that was cool. But like you said, it was as soon as they got to the mods station where they're helping Fennec Shan get a new stomach.
A new stomach.
New stomach.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Iron stomach.
I don't
know. Instantly, I was like, okay, now we're getting into more of the mod stuff. It wasn't just the bike. It wasn't just that particular, the Vespa biker, colorful biker gang that did this stuff. But it seems like it's funny because there's always a bunch of different like symbolism and different things represent things. But there's clearly like this is a young establishment. Almost feels like a little bit of almost like a tattoo parlor or like a.
Yeah.
It's like I'm making a statement. I'm doing something to my body. They even make a joke when he walks in there. They're like, aren't you a bit old to be in here, old man? And they're talking about, and they all call Boba old. They did.
Drops
the girl
the credits
called that
and
the same thing.
Drops the credits. He's like, you should have started with that.
Should have started with that. But yeah, that was big. I thought that was interesting, and I think it possibly could help some people's view of how they saw the previous chapter. But again, not everything in Star Wars is for every person, but I liked that they actually went back to the mod stuff and that it had a different purpose in this other than just kind of the introduction in the previous chapter.
Agreed.
But yeah, there's a lot to get to in this. Like you said, the structure of this show overall, this is kind of a big, just some commentary over the way, Filoni has a specific, and obviously he's tied to this as well, but Favreau is the head of this. From watching especially season 1 of Mando, season 2 really kind of picks up, and there's a lot of different tie-ins and different things. Season 1 of Mando and season 1 of Boba Fett have their own pace and their own style of storytelling, where I think a lot of people, I mean, I remember when I first went, it takes an adjustment as far as the slowness of some of the storytelling, and I actually really like it. Like
I feel like a lot more there's a lot more knowledge being told, and like information being told of these characters. You
Well,
get a little
exactly.
bit more in depth.
It's very character based and driven instead of just, all right, let's move the plot along,
Yeah.
move the plot along. The plot's coming, and we're only
Boba
halfway through the
goes
show.
and does a bounty. He does this. He comes like that's
Exactly.
This
and,
is more character.
and while we know a lot of this, there's some people who've had early responses to the chapter, and they were like, man, how come we spent so much time? Because they did spend a lot of the episode on him with Fennec, him meeting Fennec, him getting his ship back. Stuff that we, as fans of the show and as people who do a Star Wars podcast, have said every week. We're like, one of the big questions we have out there is, how does Boba get his ship? Yeah. And it's funny because some other people are like, we know he got his ship because we saw him in the Mando timeline.
Right.
We don't need to spend that much time on it. Where I was like, I
thought it was cool.
I liked it. Because I thought just logistically, it's not a given. How would someone crawl out of a pit after years and
With
then
no
go out in
armor.
the desert and be gone for years with no armor, no ship, and then all of a sudden he shows up and has a ship, and then everyone's supposed to be like, yeah, he just got his ship back. I think that's an interesting story, and I liked the way they told it. And there's a lot to go there.
Yeah, I mean,
with that whole sequence of getting it too. But
yeah,
I like that they're filling in those gaps because it's big for the character. The stuff the failures in doing that, even him scouting out Jabba's palace, Bib's palace at the time, and scratching the hairy bantha, going, "Not today. It's too many gods." Like he's been plotting this and waiting for the right moment.
Yeah.
And when he finally gets Fennec, now he's got the muscle to do it. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that there's like kind of what you're saying. There's more to it than just explaining here's how we got the ship. It was also showing the connection and the bond that he had with Fennec, that they went on this journey, survived, got the ship back, were successful, but also Boba was able to see Fennec in combat, because then they have that conversation of you've got the muscle and the brains, and that's important. You've got both, and it shows that kind of connection that they have, those mutual traits, I guess, that
Left 4 Dead in the Sands of Tatooine.
Exactly, Left 4 Dead on the Sands of Tatooine. So it shows that kind of bond that they're building. It's more than just him going and getting the ship. They're showing those characters get closer to one another, and which then leads to why Fennec kind of wants to go on for the next mission. Like, she doesn't necessarily agree, but agree to stay long term at that point. But she's like, I'll go along for the ride.
It's also, again, we keep talking about some of these questions that we had that we were looking forward to. Not everything has to be answered, but some of the things we've been asking through our first 3 podcast episodes, and now this would be the 4th. We keep saying, I kind of want, they're hinting at certain things, but I wanted a little bit of clarity as to why Boba wants to be a crime lord. In this chapter, they flat out just give you the answer.
Down. Yep.
They actually have the and what did I say? I said we could use a little campfire conversation. It happened at campfire. That's where all the best conversations
I didn't know it was
happen.
going to be between those two, but
as far as between him and Fennec, that's what I was kind of hoping it would be, because she clearly, when they go into the palace and just kill Bib Fortuna and throw him off the thing, and she starts taking a swig of the drink and he sits on there, they've clearly had a conversation before that of, we're gonna go take over. So they need to be on the same page as far as why would he all of a sudden do something that's completely not out of his character, like he wouldn't want power. Of course he is Boba Fett. Again, we make the same joke. He's not a nun. He's not going to go open an orphanage, as far as we know. But we had gotten some of the backstory in our previous chapters, especially with Chapter 3, with the tragedy of the Tuskens and the destruction of his found family, and him wanting revenge. And we get to some of that in this chapter for sure. But we were wondering, is it because, like, in their name I'm going to go do this, or in this? And it's a combination. It's a combination of getting revenge against people who have been taking advantage of people, the Tuskens, the Mos Espa, Mos Eisley, depending on where they are, as far as the moisture farmers who all of a sudden get raided by the bikers and they get all their stuff taken just because the bikers can. They showed that for a reason. He's like, okay, I'm not okay with that. And then also just the humiliating demise of both him and Fennec Shan. Fennec Shan is a master assassin, Fennec Shan. That Mando's even like, he talks to, and we'll bring him up because they don't say his name, but probably I think he's my least favorite character in all of Star Wars. Is Toro Calican.
In all of
Star Wars, I think he's my least favorite. Not because I dislike that episode. Although I do think it may be one of my least, if not my least favorite chapters of The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
is chapter 5, but that's the one that introduced Fennec Shan. It showed Boba and his spurs. It teased Boba's return, but it also has this punk kid who serves a purpose. But I also just some of the acting choices in that weren't my favorite. His character just rubbed me the wrong way, and when he died, I was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But Fennec Shan dies to this bum, and I think that's intentional. It's not like I'm not saying this shouldn't happen. It's intentional because that on paper shouldn't have happened. Boba on paper should not have died in a giant burp, but that's what happened. It's not from a writing standpoint it shouldn't happen. It's from him. He's looking back at his life thinking, I'm Boba Fett. How did I fall?
Why was I in this situation?
How was I in this situation? How did I let these fools lead me to this? And that's what the conversation is. We're smarter than them. We're smarter than them.
Yeah,
we can do this. We can make more money. Read it.
He said, "I'm tired of seeing our kind," and I put parentheses the bounty hunters because he's talking to Fennec. I'm tired of seeing our kind die because of the idiocy of others. So he's telling you exactly why he wants to be the crime lord, because he can build a better thing for not just himself, people like Fennec Shan, which is why he's so open to bringing on quote unquote a tribe.
Yeah,
getting more people. Because in the same conversation, he also mentions okay, this is my favorite part of the whole episode.
Are you skipping ahead?
No, same conversation.
Okay.
Favorite part of the whole episode.
There's stuff near the end of this chapter that we...
No. Favorite part of the whole episode is when...
Chapter, ding! No, all right.
When he, Fennec basically calls out what everybody in the show that's been giving this show flack so far of Boba's turning soft. This isn't my Boba Fett. All this stuff.
Tuskens have made you soft.
She flat out calls that out, and they address it because they're telling this is why we try not to get too crazy about if something doesn't happen, because we want to let the story play out and see what happens and why it happens.
You have to trust that the creators have a vision for where they're going and why they're doing it.
Favreau knows what he's doing. Filoni, they know what they're doing with this show. And trust, and he's been talking about Boba Fett's the character he's wanted to write for all along. He's not just going to turn him into
Favreau, you mean?
Yeah, Favreau's the one he's wanted to write for him all along. He's not just going to turn him into some soft character and that's that. Become some really good guy, Luke Skywalker type Jedi, always just wanting to do good no matter what, that type of deal. They show some of that side of him, that there is good in him and that there's morals, but he basically calls out what everybody else is thinking up to this point. If he does seem a little bit soft, why is that? And then he responds to that and responds simultaneously to the audience of us listening, saying, it's not soft. I'm stronger with the tribe, and that's something I've learned over these years of bounty hunting and almost getting myself killed for all these other people that are being idiots.
That's that. If there's one major theme of this chapter, it's that the stronger together, stronger with the tribe. It is gone are the days that he can just do everything on his own and not expect there's going to be some backlash that he gets in over his head, or he can't make the change now that he wants to. As far as, again, keep in mind people that are saying that Boba's soft. We'll get to what happens to the Nikto biker gang.
Right.
Boba's still in there. The classic Boba anger and brutality is there. But he's also trying to get he's trying to use what he learned from the Tuskens as far as how to bring people with you to help be more successful rather than just destroying everything that's in front of you. If all you are is bam bam and you've got a club and you see something you don't like and all you do is smack it, great, but what happens when someone comes with a bigger club and you're by yourself? Yeah. Then all of a sudden you're done. And
that's why he mentioned the armor. He said, I need to get my armor first because I'm much more persuasive with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So just that theme, I think, is important for the entire show of where it's going, why they've spent so much time on the backstory with the Tuskens, and also where it's going as far as some of the other muscle that started to get recruited in the
Right.
chapter. So there's a lot we can dive into, Nate. Where do you want to take us next?
Well, real quick, I want to mention, first off, if you guys are leaving comments, questions in the chat, we will get to those. So I saw Parker said, if you had to choose between Mando or Boba, who are you going to choose? Honestly, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can choose. Hopefully we never have to choose, first off. It doesn't sound
Does Mando
like we
have the
will
dark
to.
saber in the
That's
fight? I
true.
mean, in the fight, I'm saying.
He's got Darksaber in the fight. That's pretty tough. They both have jetpacks now.
One though has a ship.
That's true. That's true. Mando lost his.
R.I.P. Razor Crest.
I know. What a great
Which was
one.
also a great name for a ship.
Great one.
It became an instant classic. And it
Yeah.
was blown to bits.
Yeah.
Also in the Boba Fett chapter.
Yeah.
The
true.
tragedy.
True.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to pick, to be honest.
That's a tough one. I mean,
I don't want to pick.
I don't
want to
pick.
Honest. I don't want to pick.
I will say that he's got some nice. I think that. I froze. No, I think that Mando has some nice upgrades with the amount of Beskar he's got as far as his shoulders, his protection's
true.
a little more. It seems like he's got a little more thorough protection.
For sure.
I know that he's got Beskar also. But Mando's upgrades have seemed like they're a little bit thicker, a little bit. But who
He's
knows?
Still got a spear too, Beskar.
He's got the
And the
Beskar spear.
Darksaber.
But Boba Fett has a seismic charge. The seismic charge.
Seismic charge.
Oh
How
man,
about
there's a
that?
bunch. This really is one of my favorite
Yeah.
chapters of the whole show.
Let's touch on that. Okay, first off, I wasn't expecting to see the Sarlacc pit again. I thought that was it when we saw the first chapter. He shoots out fire. I kind of assumed either it's dead or it's wounded. He got out. That was kind of it.
Yeah.
But he's got scores to settle with more than just the other biker gangs and stuff.
So let's do both of those because it's kind of one sequence there. When he talks with Fennec and they've got the ship and he says, "I've got some scores to settle." After he talks about dropping her off and she's like,
Right.
"No, come along for the ride."
Yeah.
First score to settle, the Nikto biker gang, which there's very fascinating. One from an aesthetic shot sequence of the ship coming in and
Yeah, that was sick.
Boba's ship coming in and they're on
And you
the
just
bikes
see it
and it
coming.
just feels like a horror show. It really does feel like a scene out of a horror show where you just see Michael Myers in the background
I
or
know.
something and no one knows
You're
he's
like,
coming
Oh, no.
and you're like, "Oh no." But it was just so cool, the menacing just like slowly coming into frame. And then you're like, "What's he going to do?" And just
Takes him out.
wipes him out like that.
Wipes him.
But his face was, he's curling
Yeah.
his lip and he's got this face.
Yeah.
And then even when he finishes, he turns and looks to Fennec and Fennec's like, "That's how you do it." Because Fennec's always like,
Take him out.
"They disrespected you. Should we kill him?" And you're
Yeah,
like, "We
okay.
should take our time." Yes, but kill him first?
Okay. We should kill him.
Take our time. This time he said, "Enough, I'm getting revenge." Now, interesting because it's not a throwaway line. Fennec says, the Tuskens were destroyed by
I knew
this
this.
biker
I
gang,
knew you were going here.
which hints at. I mean, I think that
Doesn't
I
she
think
say
there could
that
be
doesn't
someone-
sound right or something like
it
that.
doesn't sound right. And he kind of said, "I don't care. I know they're jerks." Basically, he didn't say it,
Yeah.
but his actions were like, "I feel. I mean, they left their mark. That's good enough for me. And even if there's someone behind it, then we'll
Yeah.
come after them next." But the Pikes, gotta believe the Pikes had hired
Gotta
them to
be.
do this. The Pikes are
Gotta be.
behind it. But is someone behind the Pikes?
I
We
think
keep
so.
hinting
I
at that.
think so.
I think there's a very good possibility that the Pikes are not. If we were
They're
to,
not in works of by themselves.
if we were to keep unraveling or a Russian doll scenario, you're opening and there's something inside and you get to the
Yeah.
deep core of what's at it all. I don't think, now they might be because they do look menacing, and obviously the Pikes going back to Clone Wars. For those of you who have watched the Clone Wars animated show, the Pikes are responsible for killing Master Sifo Dyas. They've killed Jedi. They are very
Yeah.
much they've taken over Corellia. Now he talks about how they've infested and slowly taken over Tatooine. I mean, they really, especially in the conversation when they have like the big dinner table kind of
Yeah.
Godfather meeting of the families conversation, talks about how the Pikes have ruined this planet already. They've infiltrated. They're going to come and talk to you. And I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but this all ties together. They're going to come talk to you.
Right.
First of all, he tries to get their help, and then they're like, "Oh, we're not doing it." And then he's like, well, at the very least, stay neutral
Right.
because I'll take care of it myself. But they're going to come to you.
Right.
I asked you to stay neutral, and if so, when we get back to doing business, I will be hands off. I won't take any of your stuff. I'll
Right.
let you do business. We'll all be
I
we'll
won't
all
take
be rich,
tribute, and I won't.
and I won't
give
ask any.
tribute.
I won't give any. Exactly. But so I think there's someone. I think that they're behind
Yeah.
the biker gang hit on the Tuscans.
Yep.
And leading into, and you can take it from here if you'd like to, the Sarlacc, like you were saying. He's some scores to settle. One was, at first I was just like, is he just coming back to kill the Sarlacc?
I thought
He's
so
like,
too.
Now they
Thought so
do,
too.
because we've talked on here before about the timeline being a little murky as far as how long. He says, I was trapped in there all those many years ago.
Many years ago.
So
Sounds
you're like,
it's
he has
that-
been with the Tuscans for years.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And it sometimes gets lost when you're just watching a show and you see each sequence happen.
Right.
To keep the timeline straight. All those many years ago, I believe is his exact quote. You're like, man,
so what?
this is
7?
I'm
8?
thinking it's like
I don't
7,
know.
8 probably as far as
Yeah.
Mando season 2. And there's a lot there as far as just what that means. Obviously, talks about just even the amount of damage and trauma that's there from what happened to the Tuscans. He lived with them for years.
Yeah.
But then we get to the cool just starting to creep over.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say, can we just talk about the shot, like the footage of him,
like the scene from the mouth of the Sarlacc, and it's coming
yes,
over to
from what do they call it now? Not Slave One.
fire spray.
Fire spray.
Yeah,
Fire spray, just tilting over the Sarlacc pit.
and
Was
just see it getting closer
sick.
and closer.
And then
Which-
start going down, and you even see Fennec's like, be careful.
Yeah,
Like-
it's. I saw some people that had a little bit of they were kind of like, duh, Boba, and we all knew it was coming, but it still was like, I was waiting on the edge of my seat because I was like,
Yeah.
the Sarlacc's it's gonna do something. I knew that it had the little mouth thing that's gonna
Right.
come out.
I don't think he was expecting it to latch on though. How
No,
strong
no.
is this thing? I mean,
Exactly. He tried
literally
to go
latched
up.
on, and the ship couldn't fly away. It was
Yeah.
that strong. Like, what the?
And then at first I was like, what is Fennec doing? She's like moving in her seat and stuff. And then she starts
Trying to
reaching, and
touch
I was
the
like,
button.
oh. And then, of course, you
Yeah.
get the seismic charge.
Seismic charge.
Bong.
I could listen to that.
It's just
all
so
day.
cool.
So cool. And of course, we find out he's going there to look for his armor, which he thinks is still there. He doesn't. And it made me think
Yeah.
back to that first chapter of when we see
I had that written
Jawas
down, too.
take the armor. We see he's in and out of like a daze and stuff. So he obviously clearly doesn't remember that happening.
Because that acid, stomach, digestion,
Yeah.
whatever liquids are going on there, he's burning alive. Like it's
Yeah.
killing him. And when he comes out, it is interesting because he remembers that he obviously climbed out of the pit.
Right.
He doesn't remember apparently, or he just thinks it got taken back in.
Yeah.
Him getting out with the armor. He used the armor to
Right.
get out. Obviously, he used the jetpack. He had the armor on. He doesn't, like he said, yeah, the Jawas knock him out. He kind of doesn't remember. And he probably figured, hey, it was right there on the edge. This thing
Yeah.
will come up and just eat it anyways. But yeah, it's interesting as soon as, and then you also kind of feel bad for him. He's like, oh, dang, he's going in there. It's not even there. We know it's
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
But very cool shot.
Yeah,
and then
and they-
finally just destroyed the he
I
finally got
know, they
revenge
finally
after
did
all these
finally get
years. He
revenge.
finally got him.
But they also answered in that same scenario. They answer the question to why he's so damaged and needs the back to tank all the time. They answer that is because they're showing you that the acid from the Sarlacc pit it wasn't just him sitting in there. Like it was draining him and messing with him, all the scars and stuff. And he even flat out says without the armor he would have died. Like
Yeah.
sure. So or
How about-
Fennec said that the armor saved him. So
Since you mentioned that too of the healing and everything, they mentioned later in the chapter.
100%.
Congrats,
talking
you are 100% healed. And
100%
then
healed.
what about the scars on the outside? Those would take
Scars on the inside.
on the inside. So those take longer to heal.
Yeah.
Which is what we've been saying is a major theme of the show. Going back to the first chapter
Right.
too, is that it's a lot more than just Boba is struggling in combat because of this, or he's struggling making decisions because of just the physical damage.
Yeah.
It's also the emotional trauma of being up on this pedestal. He is the most feared #1 bounty hunter in the galaxy. And again, knocked off the sail barge. Just like that, everything changes. He's essentially dead, climbs out, no armor, barely alive,
Yeah.
taken in by Tuscans. and then just is kind of reborn and reforged with still the things. And this is what I think. If you're waiting for more Boba to be vicious, it's coming. As far as just him being a menacing fighter, it's coming. They've teased the Rancor.
He's about to ride around on a Rancor.
I don't think people are going to be disappointed. I don't think also
insane.
that we should be upset as fans that he's also learning some stuff, some of the parts of his personality or decision making that wasn't the smartest. Everyone that wants old Boba, old Boba got him thrown in the Sarlacc pit. That's where his life led him.
It also got him
'Cause
working with Vader and getting double crossed by Bib and
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly. Talks about that's why he killed. That was another thing because we were like, for someone who's seems to have grown on so many levels, it's funny how quickly he killed Bib. What he says, he's like, I was double crossed. He talks about he's basically wanted him out.
Yeah.
It was back for revenge. But yeah, there's so on still in the dream sequence in the flashback, we're seeing the timeline progress. One of my favorite things of this chapter is that we've caught up to
the Mando time period.
The Mando time period.
Yeah.
Now they hinted at that in the last chapter with Peli walking by with the droids, which makes you think there was the same 3 droids. You're like, is she on her way to meet Mando and Grogu in the hangar?
Ooh,
because a lot of those are the same 3. And again, I didn't ID them, but they're the same looking 3 droids.
ID'd them.
You ID them? You got their prints?
them.
The same exact ones. Nate ID'd them. But you think, okay, is he passing as she's going and Mando's there?
True.
Well, now they give us firm confirmation as far as where we are in the timeline in this flashback.
Mando's on planet. Yeah.
One thing,
on Tatooine.
My good old Toro Calican. When we get Fennec, so let's go to the Fennec thing again. One, I think it was a very cool transition. The twin sons of Tatooine.
Yeah.
Twin sons of Tatooine, or Tatooine, or however you say it. A lot of people say it differently.
Tatooine.
You know what I say? Tatooine?
It's Star Wars. Every name.
Or I like how Timor
two
Morse says
pronunciations.
Tatooine.
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 Yeah.
The sons of Tatooine. On Tatooine, you have the twin sons and you have the triple moons. Did you notice that?
I did
when it
notice
goes
that.
dark, you get the big moon and then the smaller
Triple
ones,
moons, yeah.
which I believe was introduced in Attack of the Clones. I believe, may have been Clone Wars, but I think it was Attack of the Clones. I think there's a quick shot. It might be when Anakin goes back and fights the Tuskens. But that was a really cool transition.
Yeah.
You get the great scene with him scratching the bantha. Him with banthas and
I'll admit it, he's getting soft, but not from the Tuskens, from the banthas.
him with the banthas, and I wanted to see him. Boba go, there, fella, there, and just pull out the biggest toothbrush you've ever seen, and just go, who's got the pearly whites? I'm gonna brush those bantha teeth. I really wanted just to start brushing his teeth.
Go find the other banthas. Make bantha babies.
Make bantha, he did. Make bantha babies.
What in the
It
world?
was so goofy but in a
So
great
goofy.
way. That's the great goofy Star Wars that I love. And
Oh
again,
my
there's
God.
always we've always make the joke, Soka.
Yeah.
Anyone who tries to tell you that's not weird is lying. That's weird. But it's good weird. Star Wars has always been a
It's Star
blend
Wars
of
weird,
the really
yeah.
cool and like, whoa, Lando is instantly cool. Han Solo is instantly cool. It's oozing off them. And then I see crusty old Watto with stub coming out of his chin because he hasn't shaved. Annie, is you Annie? Do you have a razor? It's always just a mixture of the two, and that's one of the things that makes Star Wars so great. But
Oh man.
the first flash in the sky.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I
The
thought,
flares.
I know at first, well, and it was just the first one. I thought, is there a ship taking off? Because you kind of miss
Yeah.
it, and then there's the second, and I'm like,
It's like, oh Mando.
it's Din. They're shooting off the flares. Toro Calican has the high ground. They're trying to take out. They're taking out Fennec. This is what's going on, and then of course he shows up. And
Yeah.
what's cool though is when they shot the flares, it's and it has the quick Mando whistle.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Just for a half second.
Yeah.
Very quick there. I was like, ooh, that was cool. Just to let us know the timeline.
Yeah.
And then later in the chapter, they go a bit further. But we'll keep getting to that because
Yeah.
we want people to stick around for that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just loved, again, so much of it is obviously on, almost the whole story is on Tatooine. But I loved the flashbacks of this. It took
Yeah.
a lot of the episode, but I think it was good because now we've kind of got that story all the way caught up.
Yeah.
You got something good?
I was gonna say, since we're
Chapter.
since we're touching on the goofy
Sorry.
stuff already,
Yeah.
can we just throw this out there?
Oh, yeah. Are we going to the kitchen?
I'm going to the kitchen. Two things. One, first I'll say the little. Did you get the little Grievous cameo?
Oh, you mean the... Yes,
Yeah.
with the chef knives,
The
though?
chef
that was
knives.
so great.
But what I was really going
You mean
to
the little
was,
rabbit
was
droid?
the Tom and Jerry chase.
Oh, my gosh. Come here, you.
Come here. What's he say when he drops him?
Yeah, wait, what is this exact quote?
Quick little bugger.
Oh, bugger. It was
That's
literally...
the second time he said that in this season.
How about the fact that it's now becoming
Quick little
just
bugger.
like it's an ongoing joke now that Fennec's always like, you know what we could do? We could kill him.
we could kill him right now.
I love
Let's do
that.
it.
I love that it's almost become a joke now, and it's not bad at all. I think it's great. That Boba, in situations where he doesn't know what to say, just goes, "I am Boba Fett." He said it like twice. He said it like
Do
twice.
you know who I am? The droid doesn't even respond. And then he goes, I am Boba Fett.
I am Boba Fett. And then later, what are you doing there? She's almost dead. How are you? I am Boba Fett.
It's like they took the same
They're like,
audio,
yeah, okay, old man.
audio clip.
It just always says, I am Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I love that if someone ever is like old and confused Boba wandering out in the desert and someone just finds him, hey, old man, some young punk crew with their mods, just head to toe mods.
They're
Head to toe mods. Hey, old man, you need to go back to the retirement home? Where are you going?
I am Boba
I am Boba Fett. Where are you from, Boba Fett? I am
Left
Boba
for
Fett.
dead on the
Left
sons
for
of
dead.
Tatooine.
Okay, this guy's done.
Okay, this guy-
But I just love
No.
it. That's it was a rabbit droid.
it
it's like
literally
ears
was.
came
It was a
down.
rabbit droid.
How about the fact that it just
Turned
goes
itself off. Yeah.
I'm like I'm
Yeah.
opting
I
out
had
of
to
this.
touch on the goofy stuff real quick.
How about
but-
it was funny because they kind of played into it too. Where like this is going on, it's purposefully goofy, and Fennec looks at him like, "Are you done?
You done?
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
seriously?
Like,
Like,
come on.
She wasn't like, "Oh, this is cool. Get him, get him." Like,
Yeah, no.
that would have been like, "Oh,
they recognize that it's
that would
goofy.
have
Yeah.
that would have been almost as if the creators were like thought this was a really intense, cool chase scene. It wasn't supposed to be that. It's supposed to be like goofy. This thing is on its nerves, and he's just, "Hey, come here, quick little bugger." That's just so great and chasing around the
great.
little thing.
While
I
we're here,
love it.
the kitchen scene.
Yeah,
Transition to the next room.
transition or
in-
Trandosion?
Well,
Transition.
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 The ship getting it out,
Yeah,
getting it out, and they finally
I like the way it struggled to turn.
the struggle to turn, and I
That
was
was
like,
cool.
how is it not taking damage? And it just broke the broke the palace.
Taking
instead.
damage. Hit
But-
points.
Hit points.
Taking
But
damage.
one
Uncle.
of my favorite parts about that wasn't just, I mean, aside from just seeing the ship again, was highlighting again. I keep coming back to this. They continuously show you how talented, how skilled Fennec Shan is.
She's a beast.
Like she
Yeah.
just takes them all out and then looks at Boba and says, "You get it ready. I'll hold them off."
I'll hold
Takes
'em
them
off.
more out. Then her whole fight scene where she flips the guard over, kicks
Yeah.
him off. Sick.
Very cool.
Sick.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, like we said, it was one of the things coming into, I bet, if you go
Boba?
back to our Boba Bett podcast episode, we've made Boba Betts throughout, but our pre-show, pre-chapter 1.
Ooh,
Boba
real
Bett.
quick.
Yes,
Cut
go.
you off.
I
Joe.
had nothing.
Joe. Joe said same droid type as the one in Clone Wars that was trying to hide the bio bomb on Naboo.
I love
Love
you, Joe.
yes,
I love
great.
this. Since Joe pointed that out, too, this had, I think that the last chapter had some Rebels vibes to it, but this had, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars show, this had a lot of Clone Wars. This had a lot of prequel stuff that even the goofiness was like stuff that I've grown to love about. I really love the prequels. Early on, especially the generation older than I, who saw this.
Sure.
I grew up with the original trilogy, saw all the original trilogy before I saw any of the prequels, before the prequels came out. So I was old. I was 8 when
Sure.
Phantom Menace came out. But I know, especially speaking of Uncle, what'd you think? Uncle's not here.
Yeah, what did you?
Uncle's left for dead in the Sons of Galaxy's Edge. No, he's not dead. He's not dead.
Batu.
He's not dead. He's actually probably enjoying a nice butterbeer over in
He is.
Universal. Probably not at this hour.
He's probably at the cantina.
At the cantina. Hit it, Max, by the way. That was great.
Max. We'll get to that in a
We'll get
second.
to it. But especially the generation a little bit older than I am who experienced the prequels at a little bit of an older age, I know that the initial kind of over-the-top kind of goofiness of some of the scenes in the prequels was a little hard to swallow. It's just like everything that ages, you become more fond of it.
Nostalgia.
The nostalgia kicks in. The type of comedy in this one, even more than the previous chapter, I really liked as far as the goofiness was like, that's goofy. I love it. I can't believe he's chasing around a rabbit. That's hilarious. Suka. We always go back to that. He's chasing around a frog lady in a spa, a naked frog lady in a spa who's
Mando.
bathing while ice spiders are coming to get the eggs and to get Grogu. That is so weird and goofy, but it ties back into some of the stuff that George liked about the original movies and about
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar is key to all this. But I thought that the comedy in this was great. And I was just saying that Clone Wars prequels, I think that if you like those, this had a feel that I really like
agree.
that.
Wanted to touch on some of the goofy stuff there while we were talking.
Yeah,
about it.
that was great. That whole scene was good to finally getting his ship back.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I just wanted to. I bolded it in my notes because I wanted to make sure to talk about it. Destroying the biker gang when he flew in and destroyed them. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was brutal. It was showing, and this was after. Remind me. This was after they just had the conversation about being soft, or does that happen later? No, that was before.
It was before.
Before. So they have that conversation, and then they go off and remind you, not soft.
Yeah,
not soft. So I love how they had that conversation, show the importance of him trying to be strategic now and not just use his gun to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Without thinking. He's showing that there's more to being a crime lord than what they used to have as bounty hunters.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's great. The balance between Boba's still capable of that and will use it and it will come out in the appropriate times.
Yeah.
And but then there's other times where Boba's good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Get out of here.
Come to Papa.
Come to I am Boba.
Make panther babies. That was so good. Hilarious.
We teased it. Let's get to was it the cantina? What do we call this place?
This is Garza's sanctuary.
Sanctuary, right.
Garza is great too. The Twi'lek.
Black Krrsantan?
Krrsantan, okay, so this is
We knew he wasn't
great.
going away.
We knew he wasn't going away. I didn't know he'd be back this soon.
Yeah.
I thought it might be a later in the season, second to last chapter reveal. He comes back, they team up for the ultimate battle. How about the portrayal of him as kind of just like an angry drunk in the bar?
I love that
he's sitting there and he's going.
He's sitting there taking sips and what happens? He just gets mad.
So what happens is
dude's cheating or what? Is he cheating or is he just mad he's winning?
I think he's winning, but also this goes back, and I watched even some videos on this because I had thought that I remembered. I don't remember if it's in comics or novels or just even legends.
Sure.
But for years, the ongoing feeling about Trandoshans is that Wookiees and Trandoshans hate each other. They don't like each other.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just sitting there and literally
watching
the
him
Trandoshans
win,
are
and
just,
he's just like,
they're
done.
living it up, and he's sitting there and he's just, he's kind of been fired from his job. Had a tough day at the office.
He lost. He didn't die, but
he did just get told
failed
he can
his
run
bounty.
away, and he's like, okay, he ran away, and he ran straight to the pub. And he's sitting there and he's going, and he's watching.
Just getting more and more
and
mad.
the other
every,
guy's
every
just
hand
like,
they win.
the other guy's like, full house. Oh, yeah. And they win all this stuff, and all of a sudden he just says, forget it. Full spot.
Full spot.
Look at that. Full spot. That was a reference to Jake. Jake loves that line. And so he just like looks at him wrong, and he's like, that's it. And he comes over, just starts making trouble. And this is why I say drunk at a bar. That is like the classic guy at the bar who's just there to start trouble. someone might not be doing anything that wrong, but someone looks at them wrong, or they just go because they want to get in a bar fight.
Yeah.
And that was
Black K.
Santy. That was what'd she call him? Santo?
Santo.
That was good too.
Santo,
That's a good nickname.
That was good.
But I liked that she comes over. He's going crazy. The one dude, how about the guy? It's almost over, and the guy chucks a cup at him, and then they show this guy's face, and he goes. He's so nervous.
Just breaks it on his back.
I loved his face there. We
He's
need
like,
to,
"Dude,
yes, camera, zoom in on my face right here, because here it is. He's so terrified. And he waits, and Garza comes over, and he says, like, Santo. She tries to be all soft with him and stuff.
Trying to remind him, you're more than
you're the champion,
the gladiator pits.
You're more than all of this. And
that stuff
you're
is
a
frowned
champion.
upon these days. We live in a much more civilized era.
Yeah, civilized era. And she's like, if you let him, you do this, you let this commotion go, I'll get rid of your tab, and you and I will be square and stuff like that. And he's just rips his arms out, which is great too, because this is a tie going all the way back to Han Solo.
That's because droids
don't pull his arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees have been known to do that.
Yeah.
New plan, R2. Let the Wookiee win.
Yeah. No,
but I love that he did it,
the
and then it was also called upon the Baba, because then it's just the one arm laying there,
laying on the ground. Yeah.
And I love that when that happens, Bob was just watching, and he's like, he doesn't try to intervene. I think he watches, then all of a sudden, he growls, and he not Boba, but Boba watches, no, but Santo, Black Krrsantan, all of a sudden kind of angry storms out, and for a split second I thought, is Boba going to go after him, or is he coming just to talk to Garza? Because I was like, oh, dang, maybe they're just teasing that he'll come back in a second. But he waits, and he looks at her, and he's like, it's worth a shot. Worth a shot. So it was a nice try. It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
And she gives a great, her acting is great. She wasn't like upset. She's like, I did what I could.
Right. Yeah.
And
Max, hit
Max. Hit it, Max. I loved it. They finally addressed Max Rebo and actually call him Max. Max, hit it. But yeah, that was great.
That was great. I went back upon second
hit
viewing.
it, Max.
Upon second viewing, you'll have to go back and watch this.
Oh man.
The second Boba steps to the door and comes in.
His face is great.
It's hilarious. Go back and watch that part, because dude gets thrown across that plant tree that falls, and Boba's reaction is just.
He looks like, what did I stumble on? He's like, what did I stumble upon
his
here?
His face is perfect. But yeah, no, that was great.
Yeah, I love it.
Ultimately leading to.
He walks
you need
out.
a job.
You look like you need a job.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
recruiting.
he turns.
So will it be more
this
than
is the time?
Will it be more than just this sort of gig that they're gearing up to go against the Pikes, or is this more of
is this some
gathering the tribe? Is he gathering
could be
recruiting?
some permanent muscle to get their crew going? Man,
yeah.
Boba, Fennec.
Okay.
Let's not forget my nice green pig friends, the Gamorrean guards.
The Gamorreans.
Who squealed.
And the Rancor.
When there needs to be a little bit of an apology from
I know.
from Krrsantan when he sees the Gamorreans again. He's
Real
got
quick,
a Rancor.
Solo, welcome. Hello there. Thank you for joining. Hello there.
This is the podcast you were looking for. But yes, the gathering of the troops, or should I say, what was it, the gathering of storm?
Yeah.
The gathering storm is a phrase, by the way, that's commonly used as like getting ready for battle.
Yeah.
Getting ready for war,
Yeah.
which is what they've been teasing.
Yeah, the Pikes, yeah.
The Pikes, again, there's so much to talk about in this one. I like that right after that, when he gets his muscle. First of all, also great move that he recruits him right after he ripped a guy's arm off.
Fantastic.
He didn't do it right after he was beaten by not beaten by Mod, but when they all ganged up on the Mods or jabbing him.
Yeah, he lets him go.
He lets him go. But he shows him compassion. Then he finds out, well, if you're just gonna become a drunk at the bar, I'd actually rather you actually
join
come
the
work with
tribe.
me. I don't want you to throw your life away. I don't want you to end up in the fighting pits again. If you're gonna fight, might as well make some money.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I love that. That's when he joined him, and then the following scene, all of a sudden, we finally get my beloved Godfather, head of the family's table scene.
Yep.
And
We've been waiting for it.
Santo, Black Krrsantan sitting there, and all of a sudden, it's a little more intimidating.
A little
now.
more intimidating.
They might just hang up that arm on the wall to leave a message.
Also, they framed the arm. They teased like what's stopping us from just killing you, and then perfect timing. Cue Rancor.
How about the fact that we didn't even notice that they were sitting on top of the Rancor pit?
I know.
So that was such a boss move. People that want Boba to be like the Godfather, be Don Corleone, and be
let's just
be a
put
Don of any
Rancor
kind.
beneath their feet.
How about the fact that they don't know they're dining over top of a Rancor, and also that this Rancor is apparently, big enough that his claws are coming through the top.
Through the top.
They don't kind of leave him. Remember,
we haven't seen it standing up yet, but that thing looks huge.
Looks massive. We also have not seen, obviously, in Return of the Jedi, when Luke, and then also even before him, when anybody falls down there, it's like then the gates come open. Rancor.
Yeah.
This Rancor must just be chilling down there. He's probably chilling down there with Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo's just riding him down there. And they're just getting ready for their big debut, big battle.
What if when he goes, oh, he's hungry. After you see the claws, he hands it, and you just see Danny's the one that's hungry. He grabs the food. He's just riding him. Oh, he's hungry. Danny's hand comes through and grabs it.
He's just like, oh, thanks, boss. I am a bit parched, too. You have anything to drink?
You have any more of them black melons?
Black melons. I love it.
Oh,
I like too. These like it takes a while to get used to the black melon.
Soon enough, you'll be craving it.
Be great. That's so good. You ever had a lizard crawl into your brain?
So good, so good.
I love it.
But yeah, the Rancor. Obviously, they're reminding you. We didn't get my Boba Fett, which was that we would see some training. We didn't see any training.
Not yet.
Not yet. I called it. For
you
this
called it for this one?
This episode.
Yeah. Well, then
This
you were
chapter.
dead wrong.
Dead wrong. So yeah, I didn't get that Boba Fett, but
Yeah.
we'll place it. We'll place it again for next one. I think we would definitely see some training because they tease the fact that he wants to ride this thing. So
yeah,
we'll see some training at some point.
exactly. It's gonna come.
It's not just gonna show him one day riding this thing. But
That'd be great if they don't even show him at all training, and they're just into battle, and then all of a sudden, Fennec's right there, and she's like, "Better late than never, huh?" And all
Right.
he's just riding. Man.
and what he's going after is the bunny droid.
He's going after that bunny droid. And he goes, "Quick little bugger," with the rank.
All right, let's get.
That's when Fennec knows that he's lost it.
Let's get to the moment we've been
Okay,
waiting to talk
so
about.
let's set the stage
dinner
here.
table.
So, this is also great too, is they all like all the heads are like, good night, good night, good night. they're all going home for some reason, even though they don't actually say that. But it's kind of funny. Like they all finished dinner and they're like,
Right.
"Oh, thank you, it was a great evening," and they all just started going.
They get on their speeders and just.
And all of a
ride
sudden,
off.
Fennec walks out and they're talking strategy. Fennec and Boba,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how many credits do you have? And she's talking about
Right.
credits, and he's like,
I got enough.
"I've got enough credits."
So
Muscle.
clearly
He's like, "We
got-
need more muscle." There might be just
Yeah.
a treasure trove somewhere in
From
there of just Jabba's palace, and just
Or he
Also,
maybe
he got-
just has stuff stashed away too from
because he's a legendary bounty hunter.
legendary bounty hunters.
Now,
Dad
where has he
also
been keeping all of
made
the
a deal
bounty?
with the
Where has
Camerons,
he been keeping all that stuff though? Because maybe it was in his ship somewhere. Although if
I
it
don't
might have been
know.
pillaged. But yeah, you have to think there's a bunch of gold lying around in Jabba's palace. He's a big gangster. He had a safe. He had stuff there.
Yeah.
And also people are giving him tribute, and they're giving him stuff.
They got enough food, that's for sure.
They've got enough food. I love that we got to see Jabba's kitchen.
Just chopping.
General Boba Fett. But it leads to them talking, of course,
Yeah.
about the amount of credits they have, and he's like, "Credits? No, I don't know the exact words, but I've got enough credits.
I need muscle.
I need muscle." And he's like, "You," and he talks about her, and she's,
Yeah.
he even mentioned earlier about you've got the muscle and you've got the
Right.
brains, and muscle you can recruit. She's like, muscle. Do you have the exact quote?
It was
like something
I don't
like,
remember the
muscle
exact
we can
quote, but it
recruit
was
for the right
he
price.
said, I don't need credits. I need muscle. And she said, credits can buy you muscle if you know where to look.
If you know, the credits can buy you muscle. And he looks and he's, if you know where to look.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah,
which
Mando
that was
theme.
my try to do the Mando theme. Sounded more like
Mando theme.
Mando theme, clear as day. They weren't even trying to. It wasn't even like the
Right.
subtle one earlier. This was, what's the big cliffhanger? What's the big tease at the end of the
When's
episode?
Mando showing up?
And then
Boom.
the whistle, and it's clear as day. Ludwig Göransson's Mando theme, and they just immediately, your mind goes, oh boy, okay, Mando can come back. Is he gonna have? Then you start picturing, is he gonna have the Darksaber? Is Grogu gonna be with him? Probably not, but Mando's gonna be back with the Darksaber.
And
is
the spear.
Bo-Katan gonna be there? Is he gonna have the Beskar spear?
Right.
Is Boba gonna be riding a Rancor while Mando's got the Darksaber, the Beskar spear
On a what are those other things?
on a blurg?
Blurg.
On a blurg. I would love it.
Man.
It's and all of a sudden Mando goes for Queel.
For Queel.
With the he's got his spear. Man, it's also okay, let's just speculate here on this stuff. Do we think this can not, it
Joe
doesn't have to
said-
be a
Real quick, Joe said,
Joe, take it away. What do you got?
"Man, when they hit the flute, I
Oh, it's
lost
just
it,
so
yeah.
good. It immediately ends.
Side note: they blended Mando's theme and Boba's theme. Shot well. Yeah, they really did.
Yeah.
'Cause you could. They had Boba's theme over top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was really good.
But it was the clear nod to Mando there.
yeah.
And so it makes you wonder, is Din Djarin coming? Makes it seem like he
For sure.
is. It'd be weird, actually, if they didn't.
It has to be. Will it be
Next
next chapter
time-
though?
That's the question
I
is,
think so.
is it next chapter? Now, is next chapter Bryce's? I think it might be Bryce's chapter.
See, that makes sense then. 'Cause
I
she
love-
could direct some of that.
You do know that means that it could be, where is last we've seen, he's also with Bo-Katan. Is Bo-Katan
That's true.
gonna show up? We do know that Bryce loves directing Bo-Katan. She directed Bo-Katan,
She
that great
does.
episode in the previous.
Dude, this show's about to get crazy.
Boba.
Also,
Casca Reeves
is she gonna get another
involved?
T-Rex scene with the Rancor? From Jurassic World, she talked about her experience
loves
on
the-
shooting the
She finally
AT
gets an
what was
act.
it?
It was the AT, the walkers,
the
the chicken
walker.
walkers. Well, it was actually the ATST, I guess.
ATST, and now getting
Uh,
a similar shooting style, dinosaur-like, ATST-like for the Rancor.
Except now the Rancor is an actual dinosaur. She finally got
Exactly.
an actual dinosaur that she gets to direct.
Who wins?
That's great.
The Indominus Rex or Rancor?
Wait, who wins? Rancor versus Walker. I was supposed to say Beast versus Machine. And it's a big just a big fight.
Boba Bet Mando next chapter, says Joe.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh,
Both thumbs up. Both thumbs up.
Wow.
Agreed.
Oh my gosh.
else?
Wait a
What do you guys
second. Wait a
think, chat?
second. Wait a second here. I can't move on from this. What's Joe's Star Wars name?
Well, he's got a few. Joda?
Yeah?
Lanjo Calrissian?
Because I just thought of a great one. Joe Katan.
Joe
Oh!
Katan. Ooh.
Turns out the
Joe's-
name
Joe's
Joe
got
is
a
great with
one.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Lucas. Joe. I was gonna say Joe. Joe Lucas. George Lucas.
Joge. Can that be our chat's name? Joge.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Thanks, Joge.
Thanks, George. Chad.
That's
That's a good one.
but
I-
no,
but
good
I
bet.
do think-
agree.
I do think,
think we'll
that
get
is.
Mando.
I want to. What's interesting is the way that Favreau told the story of the Mandalorian. It always was like, well, here is. Well, I think the next chapter we finally see the Jedi. No, they go some random plant. They get to something else.
That's true.
But this
That's
does
true.
feel like this is very much because there isn't a.
and that's a big thing to drop too.
Yeah.
That's not just like
I do
teasing
think
up a
that is
storyline.
coming.
That's- The last thing they talk about is we need to recruit
They need-
muscle.
yeah, it wasn't-
There's not. What's the next step? There's no
Exactly.
side mission.
It didn't end. That would be like if a previous chapter ended with we're like, oh, the Jedi is on their way. Like we get the response, the Jedi's coming, he's here, and then they decide to leave. It's not like this is like, where's the story headed? We need muscle before we can do anything else.
Right.
Where do we get muscle? Mandalorian, do. And then later they're like, turns out we didn't need muscle. Just fight.
Turns out we didn't need muscle.
We needed brains.
We needed more brains.
We got this politician. His name is Jar Jar Binks. I went Jar Jar.
Jar Jar just turned into a pirate.
I don't know. Jar
All right,
Jar.
Let's.
I do think it's coming next chapter.
Okay, we've been.
The show is going off the rails.
We got Mando. All right, we're talking about our Mando. Can we talk? I made a video about this earlier.
Do you know why I could tell?
Where I'm going with it.
Why did this turn into a bit of Sebastian Maniscalco?
Like
what are you doing? I don't know. What are we doing?
Can we talk about the quote-unquote tribe that's being formed here?
No.
Let's not talk about it.
Just stare at the camera. Okay.
No,
this is gotta be.
Okay. First off,
one of the weirder chapters of Boba Fett and one of the weirder episodes of our
that's
podcast.
fantastic. Boba not only has his ship back that we got
Ship. You're saying ship.
Ship.
It's so nice the way you said it. You're like he's got a ship back. Ship back.
Ship back.
Just to make sure that wasn't sounded
ship
like anything
back.
else. Ship.
And he's got it back, and they made it clear. Don't forget, he's got his ship by showing us the scenes and stuff. But then reminding us of the Rancor also.
Oh,
so he's
yeah.
got the ship.
Danny Trejo's down there just hungry.
He's got the Rancor. Fennec Shan they keep displaying as a beast, incredible. Not only just talent, all that stuff. Her combat skills.
Yeah,
she can fight against anybody.
Krrsantan.
You got Krrsantan, Black Krrsantan, who's ripping people's arms out their sockets.
You got the head of the families. You got the head of the crime families who are supposed to be at least staying out of the way.
You tease Mando, and Mando's coming along. Mando's showing up with the dark saber.
With the dark saber. I don't know what
Seriously
that
though,
is.
those 5.
Yeah.
I'm including the Rancor. Those 5.
Yeah, the Rancor is a giant asset for
That's
sure.
a giant asset.
Yeah.
So those 5, who can stop them? I mean, the Pikes. There has to be someone behind the Pikes because if it's just the Pikes, I think the Rancor is taking them out instantly, and that still leaves 4 more to just sit there and watch.
So here's what if he's like, we need muscle, and he gets Din, and Din's like, I'm ready to join the fight, and all of a sudden he's like, no, we also need some Trandoshan muscle. My good friend Bosk.
Good friend Bosk. But actually, that's interesting because you reminded me. Part of his mission or his purpose right now is because he said his people.
Yeah.
So it made it clear that like the bounty hunters and who else do they get? They get next bounty hunter, Black Krrsantan too. They got Fennec. They've got Boba. If they look for more bounty hunters that are like, I can offer you, because that's what he mentions. I can offer you what no other client can.
Give me
That's
a
what he
little
says to
bit
Fennec.
of a little bit of grief, Karga.
A little Karga, a little.
He's not. He's
No, but
Mando,
ex bounty hunter.
Mando for sure.
He can show. So it would make sense if he went to other bounty hunters, whether it's Bosk or anybody else.
Yeah.
Because he's showing these bounty hunters, I can offer you something that nobody else can, and we can become something much more where we can make a lot more money and be smart about it and not risk our lives and the lives of people around us because of just following foolishness.
Yeah, and let's also get to the importance and remind our audience, our listening audience, however you're consuming the podcast, the importance of Mando, Din Djarin, with Boba is much more than just, we've got another great armored fighter who's coming.
Sure.
We have the identity. We have the growth of the two of them as far as finding their place of what they're trying to do, what their mission is. Din has his own thing that's going to be addressed. I do think and speculate. So there was a lot of quietness as far as Mando Season 3 has been very hush-hush.
Very.
It was pushed back as far as when they were filming. Now, there's also some reasons. I know that there was some COVID. There were some COVID reasons. I know that it recently got pushed back too. I had heard. But even just the delay. Now, some of that is Bad Batch came out, and there was these other things down the pike. But the fact that they decided in Season 2 of Mando when they introduced Boba that before we continue this Mando series and storyline, we're going Boba.
We have to
And
tell
I
Boba's
do
story.
believe, and
They're
especially
connected
now,
for sure.
now they've obviously more than hinted. They almost gave us didn't give us exactly what's coming, but it's tied. There's some tie to Mando coming.
Yeah.
I wonder if the merging of however Boba Fett finishes off sets up Mando season 3. And that it's very much one continuous storyline of we don't know what's going on with Mando right now, but he comes in, he helps him, and then this leads to, okay, we've gotten our crime stuff set up here. Maybe Fennec watches over for a little bit because you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You scratch a Banta's back, he'll love you forever. That's not a saying. But I'm making up just nonsense. But I could see a scenario. This may be a big swing for the fences, but this is what Favreau does. I could see a scenario in which Boba he recruits Mando, and in return, Boba helps Mando. Now they already helped each other,
I think I know where
but
you're
the
going.
initial deal, because I've heard some people saying like, oh, maybe Boba would be like, hey, now help me because I already helped you.
Yeah.
Which could be as very simple as that of like, hey, I really went above and beyond helping you. You could return the favor. But initially, it was an exchange for I told you that in exchange for the armor, I would help you protect the child. Yeah. And that is why he was in debt to him in the first place, was that it was to get his armor back.
Get his armor, yeah.
It wasn't just I'm just willingly helping for no reason.
Yeah.
It was,
what do I get out of it?
Exactly. They're helping each other. You can help me get the child to safety and give me passage because my ship was destroyed. You've got the Slave One, as it was known at the time. And now, I think what this could get to is help me with the battle against the Pikes and whoever's behind it. And it ends. Din still has the Darksaber. He doesn't know what he's going to do with it. This leads to a retake / Battle of Mandalore. And this ties into, I think that this ties into his identity. A lot of Boba so far has been this almost an identity crisis or just an identity come to a realization of what has my life been for, as if like, oh, I've just been selfish. What has my life been for? No. His is much more of what has my life been for? I've been foolish as far as I've followed people who do not deserve to be master of my actions and what I'm doing. I need to make smarter moves. This could be something big coming as far as his identity as a clone, his identity as a Mandalorian, and then I don't know what that was, but that was almost Kramer. Hey, Jerry, I think they're going to battle Mandalore. Giddy up. I was watching Seinfeld.
What if this is all a plan from Favreau to get Boba over to Mandalore and take on the Darksaber?
Wait.
And just do everything he's wanted with
Wait.
Boba
Is he gonna bring Boba over? And he's gonna kill off Din.
Din's gonna go, it's part of the creed. You gotta kill him to take on the mantle of the Darksaber.
Boba goes, understood. I'm the crime
No,
lord.
I think you're onto something with the Battle of Mandalore thing.
Well, one thing there, real quick, before I forget about that Boba Din thing you were just joking about. Don't forget your thought, because we're coming back to it.
Got it.
But this reminds me, just going back to, we make these jokes about how much Favreau loves Boba Fett, or Boba Fett. But he loves Boba Fett so much that when they were the first panel I ever saw, and it's on YouTube, the first panel of Favreau, I believe it was with Kathleen Kennedy maybe, and they're out, I think it was at like Comic-Con or Star Wars Celebration. They're talking about The Mandalorian. This is the first we've got any news about it other than he's writing the show about The Mandalorian. And we're like, what is it about? And they're like, well, it's not a Boba Fett show. And they were very clear on that.
Yeah.
They asked John, the moderators asking him, like, what made you want to do the show? And he said, well, you see, my favorite, I don't know why it sounded like Sandler. My favorite was Boba Fett. But he's like, yeah, I've always been a big Boba Fett fan. And when I was in college, I used to play with him. And he's like, so I've always wanted to do like this Boba Fett show, and I wanted to do this, and And then Kathy said, you can't do that. So this is basically just a Boba Fett show. He literally spent the entire time not talking about Mando or his character at all. He talked about how much he loves Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And that was why he's like, so this is basically like a Boba Fett show without it being Boba Fett. Then when all of a sudden he gets the green light of, you can do Boba Fett. And he's like, well, I kind of already did Boba Fett. Now I'm doing Boba Fett again. But I'm going to do it different, and it's going to be true to his character instead of, obviously, Mando's a different character. But I love the merging of these two now. And now he has his foot on the gas pedal for both these. I do think it's that climactic event that could be coming that Kathleen Kennedy teased almost 2 years ago now.
Everything coming together, all the shows.
Coming together. And not all the show. Well, the Mandoverse,
all
I would say. I don't think like Obi-Wan is going to be is going to be fighting in the Battle of Mandalore.
No, but we could get some crossover, some like cameo stuff, like Black Krrsantan
get
could
some
be
Krrsantan,
in it.
for sure. Could get some maybe we get a young Pelly in Obi-Wan.
Could maybe.
Could be. I mean,
could be.
She'd be old. I mean, she's old enough in Mandalorian and I'm not betting on it. I don't think that's necessary.
Boba Fett?
They did tease her again this chapter. They said she's like, there's a lot of good what do you say, mechanics, or I can't remember the mechanics on Tatooine or and I even said, I was like, are you gonna go see Pelly again? And then they're like, and then they kind of changed the subject, but they already saw Pelly in the last one. But
no, I was gonna say I think that we will see them, at least these two shows, Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian, coming to a point, and kind of what you were saying, maybe even be sort of this continuous story moving forward with could Battle of Mandalore or something like that, where their stories will center around their character, but could lead on to the next thing.
Yeah, but this is
and who knows if we'll get a Boba Fett season 2.
We don't know. We don't know anything
about
it.
They could end with that, and then Boba kind of just moves into the Mandalorian.
What if this ends with a teaser post-credit scene for either a new show or just a Boba Fett will return in
the
Mandalorian season 3?
Plural?
The Mandalorians. The Battle of Mandalore.
Yeah.
Or they just give a little teaser like a trailer, or like, you know how at the end of
there is no Mando season 3. That's a front. It's not actually called Mandalorian.
It is Mando season 3, but it's a different
different
thing.
show.
Or it's Mando season 3, but they've actually got more footage ready and they actually show a little something of where it's headed. Show a little bit of them on Mandalore. And
I would love to go. If you guys have seen Clone Wars and Rebels,
everything about Mandalore and the culture, everything is so cool.
What would
the
like?
Empire turned the planet to
There's
glass.
still some unanswered questions too that Mando probably has about his creed. And
yeah, he's got a lot of questions about him being lied to.
Well, yeah,
Child of the Watch.
Cult.
Yeah.
So could we see some of that and them sort of building their own sort of thing? And at what point is Fennec gonna look around when she sees both of them together and go, "I need some Beskar"?
And they're like,
I need some Beskar.
And they're like, you're not Mandalorian.
She's like, neither are you guys.
Yes. And then they're like,
but we took the creed.
I am Boba Fett. And I am a child of the Watch.
Yeah. Dude, what if
that'd
be crazy? Fennec takes on the creed. I don't know. I
Wait. Give me.
Don't say it.
An Beskar armored Rancor.
I was about to say the same thing. I'm not kidding.
That reminds me of the giant trolls. The giant trolls in Return of the King.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and when you come in and they've got the giant in the Battle of Minas Tirith, you're like, what's scarier than a giant cave troll or a giant troll is an armored troll.
They're actually smart, like they're yielding weapons.
Yeah, they're firing, they're launching cannonballs and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Could you imagine a Rancor with Beskar?
As they're all just open firing and the Rancor
just be unstoppable.
Wait, give me a bantha with some Beskar. The bantha walks so slowly, and it just gets like.
Things are just a target waiting to get shot down. But no, I
hope that bantha survived.
Maybe that's the next spin-off show.
Listen, there's still ties. I still think, and I may go down completely swinging, which we should always say, just like our friends over at Force Center coined the phrase to speculate responsibly.
Yeah.
We like to engage with the story that's presented to us, and we like to speculate. We like to make predictions. We make our Boba bets. We make our Bad Batch bets. We make our Mando maybes.
We make our guaranteed bets that don't end up happening.
We make our Kenobi Canbies. Obi-Wan to see it. Obi-Wan or Obi-Wan bees. Obi-Wan to see it. Obi-Wan to happen. I don't know.
Happen. That's what
and we may get our Andor answers, but
somebody stop this guy. I can hear the people clicking away.
No, come back, because this is a good point. I promise.
Andor answers.
Having said all that, we like to speculate and have fun, but we don't want to get your hopes up as to like,
true.
oh, this. If Mando doesn't show up next chapter, guess what? They have plans for him. He's going to come.
Yeah.
What if it would be great though? What if next chapter is just it's just a side inside look at each one of the Mos Vespas, and they don't show anything of Boba or anything.
We didn't get the young biker gang. We didn't see him in this chapter at all.
No, they didn't.
I mean, they showed some of the backstory with the mods with the.
Yeah, we got some mods. We didn't get any of them in the current time period.
We didn't get any of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
are they
all that
part
to
of the
say,
gang? Or is that just kind of a job? Well,
they're kind of like.
I think they're part of it.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd be like.
I say them and the Gamorrean guards are kind of their.
I was gonna say
their own.
Them and the Gamorrean guards. You're going out to fight against the Pikes. Maybe have them in the back.
They're not part of the Fab Five.
No, have them in the back.
Mando, Rancor, Fennec, Mando. Who am I missing?
BK.
Oh,
Krrsantan.
yeah, Black Krrsantan. There you go, Fab Five.
Yeah. And also the mayor's majordomo.
We didn't get him either. He'll be back for sure.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
He'll be back for sure.
We didn't get
We're going to get more of the mayor.
Pikes. They talked about him, but we didn't see more.
I think we'll get more of the mayor. The
We
mayor.
have to get more of the mayor.
I don't know how much more of the mayor's majordomo we'll get. Maybe a little bit. If we get the mayor, we'll probably get his majordomo again. I'd like to see more of the mayor moving forward. But what I was going to say about our predictions and everything, it's okay if it doesn't happen exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know why it sounds like Trump. It's okay if it doesn't happen. Okay. It was a perfect episode.
It was probably.
But finish that.
The greatest episode we've ever seen.
But they've got you gotta trust Favreau, and I love the show. I love where it's going, but it has a very specific pace and storytelling style. It's a slow burn.
And we're getting answers.
It's very deliberate and confident about what it's doing. It knows where it's headed. Just be patient. Even in season 1 of Mando, I was like, I really like this. Early on, I thought, I like this. My personal opinion was like, I wouldn't say I like it as much as the films right away.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, I like this. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's cool. And then it progresses and progresses. You're like, man, this is awesome.
Even the first chapter of Boba Fett, I was like, that was really good. But I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it a lot, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, instantly this is way better than Mando. This is better. I was just like, that was a good episode.
And it's just part of it's just part of the story.
Yeah.
It's part of the Book of Boba Fett.
Yep.
So I think that there's some big stuff coming. I still think this is where I was going. I could be way off. I still think there could be some potential for a Kira return.
You're really holding on to this.
I'm like, you know why? I was just staring at your poster. There's a solo poster, and Kira was staring me right in the eyes.
Man.
I still think that Tobias Beckett is not dead. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, is it true? You mentioned Kira. Is it true that I just saw an announcement that she'll be back that her character will be back for a Disney Plus show?
I didn't hear that. Today?
I saw it was like today or yesterday, maybe
really?
Today. Although all the stuff was trending with Boba today, so maybe it got kind of.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Could be.
I don't know if it was true or if it was a rumor or not. I just kind of saw it.
I think
I think it was like a leak. I mean, obviously it wasn't like confirmed by like Star Wars and Lucasfilm. They didn't come out in Disney. They didn't come out and post anything. But
I think the ties with the Pikes and other syndicates.
Matter of time.
I also do think that it's possible. I don't know how they would do it. I still think it is possible that there's some sort of Han Solo tie.
To this?
Yeah. I don't
honestly,
know.
I think you're right because there's just something about Han
There's something
being
with Boba
the
and Han.
equivalent to Boba, like being the opposite of Boba. There's just something.
And
There's a connection between I almost said Bond. Boba and
Did
Han.
you say Bond?
Bond.
The name's Bond.
The name's Bond.
The name's Bond. James.
Between
Han.
Boba
Han
and Han
Bond.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's again, but I say that with caution. It's not going to be like if the final chapter airs, I'm like, boo, there was no Han, there was no Kira. I would love to see more of those characters because I really am a big fan of Solo. But I think that those are still possibilities because we don't know where this is going.
And now I'm just trying to think more logically to what makes sense of the story versus what they're capable of.
What if the big battle against the Pikes happens not next chapter, but the chapter after that?
I thought you were going to say Han's with the Pikes.
He pulls up his mask. It's Han and Kira. They ran away together again.
Again.
No. He would never do that to Leia. But I do think, what if the Pike... This seems like it's setting up for the finale, the big battle with the Pikes happens. What if it happens way earlier than that? And we don't know where the show is going as far as
crazy.
afterwards.
How many episodes?
I believe 7.
7?
I think it's 7.
So we've got
This was
3
the
more.
4th. We have 3 more.
3 more.
I believe it's 7.
So what if next chapter is Mando, recruiting Mando.
Yeah.
The following chapter is battle. Chapter 7,
Which we
then
should
is
say,
left
because
open
they're
for
caught
what?
up on a lot of the backstory
The
now. I don't
backstory.
know if they'll be doing flashbacks or dreams in these next couple.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they will. If they do, I don't think they'll spend as much. My prediction
think
is
it'll
they
be
don't
as much
spend nearly
time.
as much time. This episode chapter was about 3/4, 2/3 at least of the episode was all flashback.
Flashback, but because
But it
it
was
was
flashback giving
it was
us a lot of
still
answers we
a lot-
needed.
But it was also flashback, but further along the time.
Yeah,
like Mando time.
yeah, for sure. It wasn't stuff we've already seen.
Right.
It was flashback to, okay, we know that eventually he gets to here, but we don't know
Yeah.
how he got his ship. We don't know how the interactions with Fennec went.
They're
We didn't
also,
get the
with him
campfire
being
stuff
fully
yet.
healed, they're teasing that like stuff is kind of getting ready and getting prepared to.
The
come to a
Gathering
point.
Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't wait to see where it's
Yeah.
going. I already can't wait for the next chapter. I really, really like this one a lot. Definitely one of my favorites. And
I want to see. I want to see
I'm excited.
Mando and Boba flying side by side with their jetpacks.
That'd be cool. Remember
That'd be
in season 1 of, I believe it's chapter 3 of,
Yeah.
that was the Deborah Chow.
Yeah.
The Deborah Chow chapter of Mando season 1 where they're all flying. And Favreau voices one of the bigger guys.
Yeah. That's true.
That's great.
Yeah. Whatever happened with them? Are there going to be more
Of the Watch?
of the Watch, or just even more Mandalorians out there?
We don't know for sure what happened to all of them, other than a lot of them were wiped out when they come back and they find the armorer. So, like, where's the armorer? She's out there,
Oh yeah, I want more armor.
right?
She's got to be out there. Plus, like, so what if Boba? Like, who else would you want to recruit? Like, why would you not want anybody with any Mandalorian? Beskar.
Well, it depends too of what he's actually gonna do,
That's true.
because he's not tried.
But what if he goes and looks
about Mando or Boba?
Boba? What if Boba
Oh,
goes to look for Mando, and he's dealing with the whole Mandalorian stuff, Darksaber stuff, and it's not just Mando that comes; it's a whole group of Mandalorians that come, and now they got a crew. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but
I love it though. It's exciting. They've set up so much, and again, I teed off our show today, and so it seems like a good thing to close with. Is that one of the most exciting things about this chapter is that we have almost, I think, just about every bit of footage we've seen from the trailer has now been aired, which means everything that is about to come we have not seen and we do not know what is coming, which is exciting because the whole time we're like, okay, this is going to happen, but we still know that this meeting is going to come. We still know before they go to battle, they're going to have this meeting. Or
Right.
before he goes to battle, he's got to go get his ship.
yeah, we saw
Now, those boxes have been
that.
checked.
We've seen
and then
everything
some.
now from the trailer. Is that correct? We even
That's
got
what
the
I'm saying.
line.
I believe it's every. I'll have to rewatch, but I believe every bit
We've seen.
of all the lines.
So now it's fair game.
It's fair game.
I love what Joe said. First off, reference to my Bond comment. He said Bonfolo.
Bonfolo, that's great.
Bonfellow. And then he said, fully healed equals no back to tank, equals no more dreams, equals...
Exactly.
Or no, then he said, I'll put 10 spice on it. 10.
That is
Just
I'll
No
match
amount,
that.
just 10.
I'll match that. Let me do the conversion, mate. Conversion. Carry the calamari flam. Okay, I think
Carry the
I think it's
calamari.
20 calamari flam.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Is it 2-1?
1/4 portion. I think I'll bet.
I'll throw some Beskar down. I think that's solid.
I'm gonna bet 1/4 portion.
That's probably a good reason. That's probably a good reason why they actually threw that line in there too, of letting you know you're fully healed. There's not going to be any more dreams because you're not going to the back of the tank anymore.
That's
a great catch.
That's where all the dreams of the flashbacks have come. They're caught up, which is exciting because as someone who loves the longer episodes, I love the shorter episodes too, but I love it when I click the time and it's 47 minutes or 53 minutes.
Yeah.
I would love it if each of these are almost an hour.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be the majority. There may be flashbacks if something happens and he gets injured again, he has to get healed. But other than that, or if there's like a sleeping scene and he has a dream, but that would be kind of strange to introduce that midway through. Everything that's coming now is going to be that future timeline, or the current most far timeline moving forward, which means story's going to pick up.
Yeah, that's
For
true.
those of you who are a little bit saying it's on the slow side, I get it. I like the slow storytelling, but more is coming now, and it's all going to be. We're going to get Danny Trejo with the Darksaber soon.
Danny Trejo with the Darksaber.
He's in his classic holding a machete, just right in his wheelhouse. That'd be perfect.
I want a Gamorrean guard looking back at a Darksaber that's been thrown on the ground and turning and going, next time, baby.
Next time, baby.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I think definitely think these are coming to a point where these shows will merge and no more flashbacks. Put some Beskar on it.
Ooh,
I
put
agree.
some Beskar on it.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm with you. It was a great chapter. Really excited for the next one. Got any more comments to get to?
Yeah, Joe said, although that makes me curious as to why they kept flashing back to Camino.
I know. I was wondering
just
that as well.
Loneliness and sadness. That's
I was
true.
wondering that too. As far as there's some subtle
was the
stuff.
First episode that they didn't have a flashback to Camino.
There's some subtlety there as far as some could be just hinting at his dad and following his father's footsteps and that sort of a thing. But
Also
you're right
just
that
emphasizing the ship.
You are right though that it could emphasize the ship, where he came from as a reminder of him being a clone. I think that it could also just come from.
You guys know my take. If you guys have heard a single
Nate's
one
always-
of our podcasts,
Nate's
I'm
always
always
a
going
cloner.
back to cloning. I think
It's
all of
going
this.
back to them cloners.
You want a cup of Java Juice?
But even the clones are tied to Mandalorian because of Jango.
What
So-
I'm saying is, if Din comes, he's not a clone, but you get more
Din
of
shows up with 12 Dins.
12 Dins. He shows up with an army of Snokes.
The stuff they were looking for Grogu? Yeah, no, I found it.
Wait a second. I've got the perfect ending to this show. Are you ready for this? Buckle up.
Because he said perfect ending, I feel like it's going to be everything but that. Go ahead.
He's fighting the Pikes. Boba, this is. You
Boba
look,
this
just
is.
bear with me.
Boba, this is.
That's good. I love that. But this is dead serious. He's
It's gonna be so
the
dumb.
camera, the filmmaking. I can already see it. This is how it's gonna happen. They're watching. They're okay. Mando's over there because he's helping out in this great battle. Bang, bang, hits him. Boom,
This
stabs
is
him
the
with the
way.
spear. This is the way. Each person has a tagline.
This is the way.
This is the way. And all of a sudden you see Boba going. Boba hits someone. I am Boba Fett. And then all of a sudden,
Want me to kill him?
want me to kill him and just shoots. And then finally, they get the Pike leader on the ground. Talk to me. The dialogue's a bit hazy.
Space can feel such things.
And he takes off the mask. The Pike mask. We see the face. I'm Omega.
Omega.
And then it goes to black. And
That's it.
Omega's just the leader of the Pikes. Just kidding. What a
Omega's
terrible
the leader
ending.
of the Pike.
I just like him saying,
Is it
Talk to me.
possible?
no,
We
that's a
get-
horrible ending. I'm
Is
sorry
it
I put you
possible
guys
we
through
get
that
tied
5
to
minute.
Omega at all?
I don't think it's coming.
I think that
Maybe
no.
in a season 2 or
I
something.
think that'll come. No, I think it'll come.
I think that'll come in Bad
I
Batch.
think Boba's more likely to make an appearance in Bad Batch.
I think it's
season
all
2.
yeah. I just think
Boba's
that
more likely
it's
to
not going to come now because then every time that she is in danger in Bad Batch, you know that she survives. That's
Yeah.
one of the things. Now, it doesn't ruin everything. We knew
Yeah.
every time that Anakin got upset, well, he turns into Vader. Like, we knew that it doesn't spoil it. Like, you know that.
Yeah.
That's what happens with prequels. And
Right.
that's just the reality of the situation. But it feels like they should connect at some point in storytelling. But feels like it feels like it would be a lot to throw in all of a sudden at this one.
Yeah.
Introducing Mando back into it makes sense. They already know each other. There is no introduction. They know
Right.
each other.
He knows he's got muscle, brains. Let's go recruit him.
Yeah. It would be
needs
cool
money.
though. She
No.
shows up and she's got her like little zappy slingshot.
A little bow.
And her little bow. I call it zappy slingshot.
She's another Trandoshans. I
bow.
know him well. I've been working for him.
Exactly. A bunch. Oh
Yeah.
man. So yeah, I just
Let's have fun with it. If they
let's have fun
let's
with
have
it.
fun with it. Like what? If they had to recruit, so say Mando's not the only one they go after.
Yeah.
If they are to recruit one more person for muscle or whatever they're looking for, who would it be? Would it be a Bosk? Would it be
A Dengar.
a Dengar? Yeah. Cad Bane?
IG-88, Cad Bane.
Yeah,
There's-
IG-88 could be out there. Bring me Taika again.
Give me Taika.
Taika
He voices
voicing
all of the IG
All the
droids.
IG droids, yeah. I don't know.
There's. I'm trying to think of what's. I'm trying to think of Clone Wars characters too. You've got a little
Trying to think of
Hondo.
Could be.
Little Hondo.
Could be.
He's
I don't
more of
know.
a swindler though.
Yeah.
That's like I don't know if you would recruit.
Yeah, he's not.
You wouldn't recruit Lando to go into just some giant gunfight. Like he's
Yeah.
a great pilot and he's gonna help you and he can
He'll
help
make
talk you away
deals.
out of a situation.
He'll make deals, but he's not gonna.
But as far as recruiting muscle, it's not exactly like the just heavy artillery, I would
Yeah.
think. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Obviously, I don't know if they will have another one. I was just thinking if there was one more outside of Mando, who would it be?
you got
man.
Cobb Vanth. No, he's not as good
That's
without his
true.
armor.
That's
He's just
true.
a guy,
Yeah.
but he's still a sharpshooter.
Yeah. I mean, anybody else like I can think of now at this point, unless
It's like Bo-Katan.
unless the Transdoshans or whatever are like, we got Bosk who could help, or like that is someone who's already in the story. The Transdoshans that kind of they could throw that in there. Anything else kind of even that kind of feels a little forced, like a little fan service. Like even if a Cad
Yeah,
Bane
as far
showed
as-
up, that just like, oh, we know Cad Bane, let's go recruit him. That seems kind of like why, like what does he have?
Now the connection would be that Fennec knows him.
Fennec knows him.
Fennec knows him.
Yeah,
But-
not necessarily on the best terms.
No, not at
No.
all.
Neither was Black Krrsantan last
Yeah.
week.
Neither was. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to think if there would be, who would it be, but I can't even think of one.
No,
Maybe chat knows. J
love
Man
it.
said, Mando walks into Boba's palace. Quote, "Oh, we know each other. He's a friend from work.
I think that's.
No, we know each other.
Who's a friend
Who's
from
a friend from
work? Yes, we both from. Well, we're not both exactly from Mandalore because he's a foundling and who is and I'm I lived on Camino and I'm a clone and people know my voice across the galaxy. So
Joe also said Forlom.
yeah, that's a possibility. There's a lot that's like
Or someone new. Who knows?
give me a little bit of
It doesn't always have to be someone
gosh.
that we've seen before. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of that's true. That is definitely true. These shows introduce new characters all the time that I mean more than half the characters in Mando I mean almost all the characters in Mando are new. When you then eventually in
Dr.
season
Aphra?
2 you went into Dr. Aphra feels like she might have her own show of sorts or that she might be
Could
tied
be.
to something
I
else.
know
she could
she's
be
tied to
It's Krrsantan.
Krrsantan.
Yeah.
So
It definitely is possible. It's definitely possible.
Who knows? That'd kind of be cool. I feel like we are gonna get like Bo-Katan or something.
Yeah, coming with.
Just because right now Fennec's the only female
Yeah.
with the group. I feel like there would be another one. If I had to place a bet outside of Mando.
Other than the mod girl.
the mod girl,
Trash.
true, but I'm thinking more like
Yeah.
heavy hitters.
Yeah,
not,
for sure.
Not the
Not
biker
the-
gang
yeah.
and the Gamorrean guards.
Mhm.
More like solo
Yeah.
individual characters. We don't really have another one outside of Bo. We're on good terms.
Not that's a heavy hitter for sure.
Yeah.
No.
So that could be one.
I like it. I like Bo-Katan. There's a lot more of Bo-Katan to come for sure.
And
what they've
if
set up
Mando
with the Darksaber.
is calling the shots now with the Darksaber, they pretty much have no choice but to
Listen,
listen to him.
what will the time period be as far as at this point? How much time has passed since he's helped him?
Yeah.
Is he gonna go? What would the shock be? He's like, "I've got to go recruit him on Mandalore," and they go to Mandalore, and he's and Din's sitting on a throne with
You'd be like, what? Just how?
and behind him is the head of his enemies, the heads of all of them. He's just lost his
It's like,
mind.
okay, Mando, who was the softer ones, now just straight
No,
hardcore.
they just completely flipped. That'd be
He
great.
just has Mandalorian helmets of anybody that
That'd be
crossed
it.
his cult.
I love it.
No, that'd
And
be
he goes,
crazy.
"This is the way, right into the Rancor pits." It was killer.
Oh man, that would be.
I like
yeah,
it.
I don't know.
I love it. Anything else?
I don't think
It's a
so.
good one.
It's
Really
a great
good one.
episode. A ton of stuff. I feel like we got a lot of answers to things, but also really led the path for Mando, but also what is to come with this battle. I feel like
There's
got a lot out of this episode.
for sure. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I love it. Take us home.
All right. Well, as always, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate it. You can message us on Instagram @_Star Wars guys. Send us any topics, questions that you want us to cover here on the podcast. We missed Uncle. It was unfortunate he couldn't be here, but like we said earlier,
He's got some good Star Wars
yeah.
adventures of himself.
he's having a great
by
Star Wars
himself right now,
adventure
with
of,
his
of
family.
himself with his family. So sad he couldn't be here, but obviously for a great reason.
Yeah, exactly. That's,
Great reason.
That's
No better
about
reason.
that's about as much fun as
Yeah.
someone can possibly have.
Yeah.
enjoying
So
Star
when he
Wars.
gets back,
We
he'll have
love
some
it.
stories to tell too that we'll have to capture on the podcast of his adventures at Galaxy's Edge and just Disney and Universal in general. But thank you for everybody that tuned in. If you're watching live on YouTube, thanks for the engagement. Thanks for
Yes.
staying engaged.
Just makes it more
commenting
fun.
in
We
the chat,
appreciate
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And as always, if we miss some of those comments too while we're going live because we're diving into a specific topic, we'll try to get to those. And if you think we missed it, feel free to just keep commenting. And if we missed the whole episode, if we missed it, we never got to address some of that stuff. Always, you can reach out to us. You can comment on the live video that will be posted here on YouTube, and also just send us a message on Instagram @_Star Wars guys. So we'd love to get to those topics and include that. We always like to have a kind of conversation with you all, not just ourselves as well. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support as always. May the Force be with you.
Quick little bugger. Come here, rabbit droid.
Like a panther.
Come make panther babies.
Left for dead on the sons of Tatooine.
Tatooine.